can go wherever you want, see whatever you want to, but a place is only as good as the people you know in it. I think this is a pretty good place. Welcome back, legends.
So I've heard that you want some more, you're ready and willing to settle the score. 90 plus episodes, yet so much in store. That amazing iceberg, we ain't hit the core, Ever wonder what made Devil Man cry, or why this guy conspire with his devilish eye? No need to question or prod and pry. Just watch me on YouTube till your neurons fry. Check it, season 1 got that out of the way. Season 2 kid stuff, you know we don't play. Season 3 that's garbage, better throw it away. Season 4 in the door and it's here to stay. We got hours of info that you can't ignore, like a hit from Truckun or a Snorlax snore. Anime's the currency, and if you feeling poor, just tune into Anime Legends season. Hello, everybody. My name is AfroX, the anime guide, and I'm here to guide the new into some of the old and the old into some of the new. If you've never seen this before, if you're just now finding out about this channel, this is the AfroX channel, and I am an anime education channel. So my purpose here is to take people who don't know a lot about anime and to really get them kind of caught up and knowledgeable about anime stuff. And to also talk about like Japanese culture and stuff like that. Of course, we're really big on Japanese culture, but pretty much what the AfroX channel does is I do a lot of AMVs. Right now, we're kind of in a big One Piece phase. And for probably, I'd say, a year now, I have been working on trying to complete a complete crap guide to One Piece that details everything up to the current chapter. Most recently, we just got done talking about the Dressrosa arc, so you can go back, watch those old videos and stuff, but pretty much I'm trying to make a complete guide to the series so that instead of having to watch like 500 hours of One Piece, someone might be able to get through my series in 3 to 5 hours, and pretty much they would know the general gist of the story, not everything, of course, because we do want people to actually go and watch One Piece, but it would at least be a speed or a crash course into the series. So there's that. I'm going to take out my headphones here. But that's not what you're here for tonight. You are here because tonight we are talking about Fullmetal Alchemist. Yes, I know. One of the most popular animes that is out there. And specifically people like Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. I am going to touch on that. But yeah, we're talking about Fullmetal Alchemist tonight, which is the original. We got Trix the Anime Hater in here, the #1 fan. Thank you so much. We also got Nerdtastic News in here. So glad I have the support from the sister channel. That means so much. By the way, if you want to go check out Nerdtastic News, I do a series on there called Otaku Odyssey, and you can go check that out. I have 2 videos so far. I probably upload. I don't have a set schedule, but every month to a few months. But yeah, I've done a video on there of what is it? like top 5 animes that you love if you will love if you love the show The Boys. And then I also did top 5 things you need to know about Luffy. A lot of top 5 stuff, which might be the theme. But yeah. So yeah, Nerdtastic News here saying FMA, heck yeah. Yes. Super glad that you guys are excited for this. Before we start everything, I'm going to run through the sponsors really quick. Just to let everyone know, we do have a Patreon. You can check that out at www.patreon.com/AfroX. And there you will find a page that says AfroX is creating anime-based content, and I certainly am. And you can sign up to donate in increments of $5, $10, $30, $50, or $100 a month. I do not mind which one you sign up to donate at. Even $5 a month would be an absolute blessing. That would be awesome. So there's that. I'm not going to go through all of the rewards right now. If you're really interested in that, you can check it out at the Patreon page. As for social media, on Facebook, we have there is an actual AfroX page on there. And we also have a group called the Official AfroX Fan Club. And if you join that group, you will be entered into a group chat where you will be able to find out if anything is changing, if anything is different during the weeks as the weeks go on. We have a really cool event coming up, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So we also have merch at www.teespring.com/store/Afro-X-2. If that's too complicated, there's a link in the description of all my edited videos. But you can get the official AfroX t-shirt. It costs $30, and a third of that goes back to the channel. So you can get an official AfroX t-shirt. On the front, it has the AfroX logo, and on the back, it has the AfroX slogan, which is, of course, Stay Legendary. So you can check that out. If people really get excited about merch, I will definitely think about making more. Maybe an AfroX hat or a mug, something like that. That would be cool. As for the other social medias, we have a TikTok, which is at AfroX_YT. Trying to get to 1,000 followers on there so I can start doing lives. And on the TikTok, you'll see more of like the live stuff, more of my face. And I kind of do just random things on there, skits. I do a lot of soda reviews, stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, that's there. Then we have on both X, which used to be Twitter. And by the way, if anyone asks, I predicted Twitter dying long before Elon Musk changed it to X. So I take credit for that theory. Anyways, on X and also on Instagram, I go by @TheRealAfroX. So that is there. And if you want to check out my Discord, join the Discord. It is AfroXAMA. There is a link in the description of all my edited videos for that too. I would really love for people to join in the Discord just so we can have some discourse. And definitely if we get more people in there, I would love to start showing anime and having anime viewing nights, which I think could be really, really cool. Trixis, you did say that about Twitter. I did. So many weeks I said, even though Twitter is dying, and then it did. So that's all the sponsor for today. We are going to be talking about the anime Fullmetal Alchemist tonight. Now, for those of you that don't know about Fullmetal Alchemist, hi, I'm AfroX. Anime is a thing, and it's really cool, and I'm pretty sure you've never heard of anime before, if you've never heard of Fullmetal Alchemist, because any fan of anime will tell you that the absolute classic, most you have to watch anime of all time is Full Metal Alchemist. Well, besides like Inuyasha and stuff like that. But Full Metal Alchemist is one of the most popular animes ever created. So let's jump right into it. So, Full Metal Alchemist focuses on this guy, Edward Elric, and definitely got spiky hair, electricity coming out his fingers. He's a shoe-in for the protagonist. So that is him. This is Edward Elric, and just some history. So pretty much him and his brother Alphonse Elric were studying alchemy, which is pretty much kind of an art, science, magic type thing in their world, which lets you take something that already exists and transform it into something else. For example, one of the things they do in the show is they take some, I think it's some earth or something like that, and they transmute it, which alchemy is actually it's a pseudoscience. It's a somewhat real science, but pretty much they use it to remake to restore a clock to functioning, to being able to function, stuff like that. So it's science, it's magic, it's art, it's all of that. That's not the important part. Well, that is the important part because that is alchemy. But pretty much their mother is dying. So what these boys do is well, no, their mother isn't dying. Their mother is dead. Mother is gone. Anime hates mothers. Anyways, so their mother is like real dead. And they try to use alchemy to bring her back. Now, this is an absolute taboo. Number one rule with alchemy is you absolutely cannot do human transmutation. It's absolutely forbidden. It's horrible. It's gross. Don't do it. But these boys try to do it after studying what is the makeup of a human, and they try to pretty much put everything together, get it absolutely right. And pretty much there's one law in alchemy that people can't really get past, which is the law of equivalent exchange, which pretty simply says to obtain something of equal value must be lost. If you are gaining something, you have to give up something in return. And so pretty much with this whole experiment thing of trying to bring their mother back to life, everything goes wrong. And they end up creating this horrible, like, flesh and bone goo monster thing that pretty much dies right away. And in exchange, Edward's brother, Alphonse, loses his entire body, like all of his flesh, bone, everything gone. And also, Edward loses his arm in this. And so pretty much seeing what's happening, Edward is able to kind of try to make a deal before losing all of Alphonse, and he sacrifices his leg. He gives up his leg in order to make it so that Alphonse's soul can be bonded to a suit of armor that is sitting in the corner of this shed. And so that's what happens. Edward loses an arm and a leg, and Alphonse has his soul put into, or infused into, a suit of armor. And pretty much I'm going to show you what that looks like. Right here. This is Alphonse Elric. So this here is kind of actually I should blow that up. This here is kind of what he looks like. He eventually does get his body back in the future, but this is kind of what he looks like in his human form. But in his suit of armor form, this is what he looks like for most of the series. So yeah. Drixer says, Saf J. Kimberly, best character. Not sure what you mean by that. Equivalent exchange is a B. It definitely is. It's a real hard thing to come by, but I mean, it brings balance to the universe. Now, there is one way that you can bypass equivalent exchange. Yeah, Tricks are saying equivalent exchange can be both good and bad. There is one way you can bypass equivalent exchange, and that is by obtaining the Philosopher's Stone. Which, if that sounds familiar, the Philosopher's Stone is also the name of the MacGuffin in the first Harry Potter book, but they have no connection. Actually, I think it's the Sorcerer's Stone in the first Harry Potter book. Anyways, they have no connection. But the way to bypass equivalent exchange is to gain the Philosopher's Stone. And if you have the Philosopher's Stone, pretty much you will be able, you gain the ability to transmute anything without giving anything in return. And thereby pretty much breaking the laws of the universe. And so pretty much Edward and Alphonse grow up a little bit. Alphonse growing up in quotations just because what is it? His soul is in a suit of armor, of course. I'm gonna take this off for now. So they grow up and oh, sorry, excuse me, my PS4 is making sounds in the background. So they grow up and they go on to become what is called state alchemists, which are pretty much they are alchemists that work for the government and kind of become the police, if you will, of the world, and the police that deal in alchemy affairs. And so they kind of join up to this private military. And so we pretty much get to the beginning of the story. So Edward has this friend of his named Winry Rockbell. And Winry Rockbell is the love interest of the story for Edward. But she is the one who creates a mechanical arm and a mechanical leg for him to replace the ones that he lost. And so, this seemed kind of obvious, but I thought I should bring up Alphonse can move in the suit of armor. Like, his soul isn't just trapped in it. Pretty much they become state alchemists, and at the beginning of the story, they are going after this alchemist who is a priest in this town, and I believe his name is Cornello or Colonello, something like that. Anyways, they get into a fight with him in this church. And pretty much he's using he says he has the Philosopher's Stone, and he's pretty much just doing alchemy all over the place, being a bad dude. So they get in a fight, and in one of the most epic anime moments, this Colonello guy sends out a lion to bite Edward, and this lion bites right into him, and then his shirt sleeve just rips off to show off that he has a metal arm, which I thought was really cool. So one of the things in alchemy that like Edward can do is he can reshape his arm into a blade. That's pretty cool. He can, using alchemy, he can reshape the ground pretty much into anything he wants. He can kind of earth bend if you want. Father Cornello, thank you. Crimson Alchemist for the win. Yes. So pretty much they get in a fight, and blah 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 blah. Edward and Alphonse win, manage to defeat Father Cornello, and only to find out that he does not really have a Philosopher's Stone. It is an absolute fake. And about at this point, there is a group that is watching them that are called the homunculi. And pretty much a homunculi is created out of whatever comes out of the transmutation circle when someone tries to do human transmutation. So they are all like the result of people trying to do human transmutation. And they are based off of the 7 deadly sins: wrath, greed, gluttony, lust, hatred, and pride, and oh god, what is the last one? Envy, but I thought that was the same as greed. Anyways, they're based off the 7 deadly sins. Yeah. So pretty much after this, I believe in original Fullmetal Alchemist, they skip the next part, but in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, which, by the way, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is the anime version of the manga. It's more, it follows more with the manga. The last one was Wrath. The big one is transmuted without circles. And Edenal's biggest power is transmuting without circles. Yeah. But yeah. Where was I? So yeah, so pretty much in the next part, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is the anime more closely tied to the manga, whereas Fullmetal Alchemist kind of takes some liberties. So in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood and in the manga, at this point, Ed and I think. Well, first of all, Ed and Alphonse go and visit this kind of at-home alchemist who is very well renowned, and he's very well renowned for his work with chimeras and pretty much being able to use alchemy to fuse together 2 different animals, stuff like that. And this guy's name is Shao Tucker. Now, if you've ever heard of Shao Tucker, he is one of the most despicable people in existence history, I guess you could say. But pretty much something's kind of going wrong with Alphonse. He feels kind of weird. And so Ed says, "Hey, Shao Tucker, you're an experienced alchemist. Can you check out my brother, see what's wrong? Cool. I'm going to go on a mission to talk to this other alchemist guy." So he goes on a mission to talk to this other alchemist guy with another alchemist. I can't remember. It's a girl. I can't remember her name, or maybe he goes with Winry. But anyways, he goes to talk to this guy named Marco. Blah, 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 blah. They get to Marco's place only to discover that he is currently being attacked by one of the homunculus called Lust, who can make her hands into spikes. Hello, Mrs. Doublefinger from One Piece. Pretty much Ed doesn't defeat her, but makes her go away, and Marco dies, I believe. Yeah, Marco dies. And so pretty much after this, Ed comes back, only to find to his horror that Shao Tucker, who has a daughter, a young daughter, and a dog. He is kind of at his last desperation, trying to find something to show to the state alchemist in order to continue being an alchemist. And in his desperation, he transmutes and combines his daughter and his dog into a chimera, which is just about the most twisted scene in all of anime history that you have ever seen. Like if there is nightmare fuel, that is the nightmare fuel. Especially when like the dog starts talking to Ed and is like, Ed, is that you? And yeah, no. It's gross. It's horrible. So anyways, Ed does the only sane thing and completely murders Shao Tucker, which did definitely need to happen. So that happened. And pretty much after this, Ed has a whole existential breakdown because he's like, we get one of these, the fuck are we doing here? So it is at this point that my memory of the series slightly breaks down, and I kind of have to piece it together from different sources. Pretty much from what I know of the series, after this point, Ed and Alphonse have like a newly reignited fuel to go and search out the Philosopher's Stone. Pretty much kind of in the background, there is this character named Scar. And Scar is... he's from this like in the area, and he's kind of mad that the military is like, these alchemists are kind of like ruining his I believe they're called Ishbalans, but they're kind of ruining everything. And what does Cryo say? Now, Shao is just ahead of his time. Imagine what he could accomplish with the homunculus instead of a human. Oh, Cryo. It's a hard take. Nerdtasking News said, dude, I love Scar. For most of my 20s, I desperately wanted a Grand Arcanum tat. Yes. Very, very cool. Trix is despicable is putting it lightly. That is very true. I don't know how many times a week my kids wish they were dogs or cats. If you ask them, Tucker was right. Ouch. Ouch. Ooh, man. If anyone outside of us saw this, they would get flamed in the comments so hard. Cryo does have a point with that. Okay, so looks like the fans are on the side of Shao Tucker, which I never thought I would say anyone is on the side of Shao Tucker, but here we go. So pretty much after this, Scar is just like, I'm angry. You've ruined like my whole native tribal people's place, and so he starts fighting back against the military, and he starts fighting against the leader of the alchemists, who is named King Bradley, and or also known as the Führer, which if you're called the Führer, like, you're obviously the bad guy. in the anime you're in. You're obviously the villain. But he's called the Fuhrer, and pretty much Scar finds out that King Bradley is a homunculi based on the sin of pride, and they actually do really well because in actual lore, they well, in like the Catholic Church's ranking of the different sins in the seven deadly sins, pride is known as the biggest sin, since it's what sent Lucifer down from heaven. But anyways, so pretty much King Bradley Pride is the most powerful homunculi of all of them. And Scar is the only one who knows it, but Scar gets killed by him, X'd. Which humorously enough, he has an X on his face, right? Yeah. That I didn't even intend for that to happen. Anyways, so pretty much King Bradley goes back to State Alchemist. He's like, I'm the big boss now. I'm in charge. You guys are no, that's right. So while this is all happening, Maze Hughes, who's the nicest guy in like all of these State Alchemists, Maze Hughes, he is, I think he's about to like give out like a major secret or something, or maybe tell people about King Bradley, and then one of the other homunculi murders him, which is absolutely horrible. So he dies. But somehow the information gets to the other alchemists, and they're like, okay, so the guy who used to be at the top is now our horrible enemy, and he's absolutely super strong and crazy. So pretty much King Bradley comes back, and they're all like, yeah, we're not letting you in. And he's like, I'm sorry, I'm going in. And you can step out of the way, or you can just like die. And so this dude absolutely, like, this is one of the biggest smackdowns in all of anime. This dude pretty much barrel runs straight into the whole State Alchemist fortress. I think they send out a tank at him, and he like grabs the tank and like smashes it into the fortress. But yeah, no, this dude absolutely is unstoppable, and it is amazing. If you ever wanted to see a scene of just like well, if you've seen Terminal Montage of like just infinite screams, that is one of those moments. So he marches back in there, and he's like, yeah, so I'm a bad guy, and you guys are gonna die unless you follow me. So at some point, pretty much in back with Edward and Alphonse, pretty much they're still in pursuit of the Philosopher's Stone, and pretty much what they discover, they get to this lab. And this lab has hundreds of homunculi in it, and like it's pretty much like the scene out of The Preacher with all the clones of what is it? Like crossbreeded Jesus. If you've ever seen Preacher, you know what I'm talking about. But pretty much, oh no, inbred Jesus. Anyways, so has all this homunculi in here, and pretty much they get there, and what they discover is that the only way to create a Philosopher's Stone is through human transmutation, and pretty much you have to use like human blood and human suffering and stuff to create a Philosopher's Stone. So they're like, well, now we can't make a Philosopher's Stone, and pretty much the whole purpose of making the Philosopher's Stone is because Ed's like, forget about my mom dying. we're gonna get Alphonse's body back. And so pretty much they're like, well, we can't we can't do human transmutation to make a philosopher's stone because it's wrong. And so they blow up the entire place, let all of these homunculi just out into the world so that the state alchemists can deal with them. And then pretty much at the end of original Fullmetal Alchemist, what happens is I think Alphonse somehow gets like his body taken or something. There's this thing called the door, which is where all the things that are given up in equivalent exchange kind of go, and pretty much behind it is the Eye of God, which is pretty much like the deity of this world. And Alphonse's soul kind of gets taken, and so like I think the last scene is Edward kind of just reaching up like towards heaven and just being like, I'm gonna get you your body back. And then the story kind of never finishes, but I've heard that the story continues in what is it? In Conqueror of Shambhala. No, that's right. Never mind. So Alphonse does get his body back. That's right. But Edward is taken and he is brought to and this is going to sound confusing, but he's brought to the real world, or our world in reality, but it's an anime form. And he goes to World War II Germany, where he meets his father. And then in like Brotherhood, his father is also like this super powerful dude named Hohenheim. And I don't really know much about that. Some other people probably know more about that than I do. I will fully admit. I have to watch Brotherhood someday. And that's where I admit that I have not seen Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, even though I have seen the original. But I've heard that all of it is figured out in Conqueror of Shambhala, the movie. But yeah, that's pretty much my knowledge on Fullmetal Alchemist. Yeah. So yeah, it was a good way to end the first series. It really was. Your wraps up yours wraps up in Conqueror of Shambhala. Yeah. So definitely two things I'm going to do, and then I'll talk about them later, is I need to first watch all of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and then I need to watch Conqueror of Shambhala, and then once I know all of that, then I can get back. So and then maybe I'll make an official crap guide to Fullmetal Alchemist at some point once the guide to One Piece is done. But yeah, now you know something. But yeah, that's all of the stuff for Fullmetal Alchemist. I'm gonna kind of leave it to the chat here. If you have any questions for me, wanted me to expand on anything, stuff like that, let me know. But yeah, let me go back in the chat and see what I missed here. Hashtag justice for Ishbal. Hashtag King Bradley for Prez. I don't know. That's a tough sell. Bradley made a tank run. Dude sliced through tanks like butter. He really did. about Shao Tucker. Trix is not on his side. Just he could have went far, even though he was a sick person. He could have. I gotta say, it was a good thing that he got stopped. Okay, so catching up here. Cryo says Brotherhood is absolutely worth it, and Trix says both FMA shows were great. It's rare for that. That is rare. And you just kind of reminded me of something. There is one other series that does that, which is the Fate series. If you've ever heard of it, so Fate Zero. So pretty much the Fate series is very confusing. So pretty much the first anime that came out in the first anime that came out in the Fate series was I believe it was Fate Zero, and then Fate Stay Night came out. No. It was Fate Stay Night, and then Fate Zero came out, because Fate Zero is the prequel to Fate Stay Night. Then, after Fate Stay Night came Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, and Unlimited Blade Works is the closer to the manga version of Fate Stay Night, so which makes it even more confusing. So pretty much in the chronological order, you have Fate Zero, and then you can either watch Fate Stay Night or Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. It doesn't matter. But people mostly say you should watch Unlimited Blade Works just because the animation is so much better in it and it is closer to the manga. And then after Unlimited Blade Works, then you get into all the weird ones and the ones that are kind of part of game tie-ins, like I believe the fourth one is Fate Stay Night Apocrypha, and then there's like there's Grand Order, there's one called like Khaled or something, Khalid. But yeah, so Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works are the same anime, but that's another one where Unlimited Blade Works was the more faithful to the manga version, just like Brotherhood. Yeah, Nerdtastic News here says, #justice for homunculi. They didn't ask to be brought into the world and abandoned. So true. One of the most brutal moments, and I didn't mention him in my review, but pretty much one of the main generals of the State Alchemist is Roy Mustang, who by far has the #1 power in anime that I would want. He has like an alchemist symbol on his hand, on his glove, and what he does is he snaps his fingers and does alchemy on the air itself and ignites the flammable components in oxygen, and he can snap his fingers and create explosions from his hands, which yeah, #1 power from anime that I want, for sure. But anyways, there's a scene where he finds I think it's hatred, or no, I think it's wrath. Yeah. And he finds Wrath, and Wrath has hurt one of his subordinates, and pretty much Roy's just come up to save her, and he's just like what have you done to my subordinate? And he gets so mad that he just continuously lights up Wrath. And the homunculi, they can regenerate their bodies, and so pretty much this what happens is he keeps exploding the Wrath over and over, letting him regrow and exploding him again, so that Wrath is in constant suffering and constant pain through all of it, which is one of the most brutal scenes in all of all of the anime, to be completely honest. The Fullmetal Alchemist just in general has some of the most brutal scenes in anime. Oh, thank you. That was Envy. That was Envy. He kept burning and was glorious. Roy Mustang was a monster in FMA. Yeah, I agree. But damn, that being able to create explosions from your hands would be the coolest power in the entire world. I mean, Roy Mustang, and then also like Bakugo, but Bakugo's is kind of different. He doesn't really like snap his fingers. Bakugo, so Bakugo's quirk, he actually sweats nitroglycerin. And then he has like he can ignite his own sweat and create explosions from his hands, and that's pretty cool. But what is super gross, if you think about it, is in his costume, his big arm gauntlets are grenades, and pretty much what he does is he sweats into those grenades, and just all those grenades are just filled with his sweat, and that's how he can create those gigantic blasts of explosions. I will always say this joke just died on her hands and knees taking hot shot to the back until death. That is true from Roy Mustang. Yeah. What I most fondly remember from that scene is I actually took that scene and put it into the Can You Feel My Heart AMV, which I named Critical Failure. And I put it at the part where the singer is going, forgive me, Father, I love you, Mother. And pairing those two just felt super powerful to me. But yeah, we are 47 minutes in, which is way past the usual time, but that's good. Means we had good content, means we had a great chat. But yeah, that is it for tonight about Fullmetal Alchemist. Do stay tuned. So the big surprise that I wanted to bring up, that I talked about earlier was, so next week is Halloween, and I want to keep on schedule, so I will be having an Anime Legends on Halloween. Might do it at a different time in the day, just because I would like to do some Halloween themed stuff at night. But so next week we will be having an Anime Legends, probably talking about something creepy, some scary anime or something. And that will be episode 8 of season 4. Then the week after, which will be the first week of November, will be episode 9. And then on the second week of November, on the second Tuesday of November, Anime Legends season 4 episode 10 will be the 100th episode of Anime Legends. And so we're going to be doing something big for that. Probably going to see if we can get some guests on, stuff like that. But I personally would like to have a guest on and play not only like anime trivia, but also who's that character, and stuff like that. I think that would be really, really fun. But we're going to have a huge extravaganza for the 100th episode of Anime Legends. But yeah, I'm super excited for that. That's all for tonight. Keep YouTubing, YouTubers. Don't fight the fro. And always remember that to obtain something of equal value must be lost unless you can stay legendary. Bye-bye.